Hi, we're going to talk about the Bible's simple and clear teaching on resurrection today. There are two, and we're going to take a look at when they happen and who will be resurrected in each one. There are many different people in the world. A few are famous, but most of us are just regular, simple people living life. Some are professionals, some are housewives. We have many different religious people, and there are young and old. And all people have the same destiny. No matter who you are, all people will live. And all people will die. And all will be resurrected. The question is, who will be resurrected when? The first resurrection occurs when Jesus returns. The second resurrection occurs at the end of the 1,000 years at the white throne judgment. We'll take a closer look at both of these resurrections in a few moments. A few facts about the first resurrection. First of all, only faithful believers are resurrected at this time, whether they lived during the Old Testament time, the New Testament time, or today. Secondly, faithful dead believers are raised first, and then those who are alive who are faithful believers are changed from being mortal to being immortal. Thirdly, these resurrected and immortal believers meet Jesus in the air, and then they return to the earth with him. And the fourth fact is that these immortal believers will reign with Jesus on the earth for 1,000 years. And a few facts about the second resurrection. First of all people of all time who were not resurrected at the first resurrection will come back to life at this time. They are also judged by how they lived their lives. They're not judged by their faith, whether they believed in Jesus or not. And another fact is that if their name is in the Lamb's Book of Life, they will enter the eternal kingdom. But unfortunately, if their name is not in the Lamb's Book of Life, they will be destroyed forever in the lake of fire. And by the way, there is no eternal torment. Death is compared to sleep, and as Daniel 12:2 says, those who sleep in the dust of the earth will awake, some to everlasting life, and others to shame and everlasting contempt. Let's now take a look at the resurrection timeline and do a review. And remember that the dead are as though they are asleep, and when they're resurrected, they're woken up. So the simple timeline will show us when people are resurrected. As Matthew 24 tells us, the Great Tribulation precedes the resurrection of the righteous. When Jesus returns, this is when the first resurrection happens. Dead faithful believers are resurrected to immortality, and those who are alive and faithful believers, they will be changed in an instant from being mortal to being immortal, and they will meet Jesus in the sky and then return to the earth with him. They will then reign with Jesus for 1,000 years. This is the first phase of God's kingdom being established on the earth. After the 1,000 years, everyone else is resurrected, and this is commonly known as the second resurrection, and they are resurrected to the great white throne judgment. At this time, everyone from all time will be raised to life and be judged according to what they have done. That is how they live their lives. Some will be permitted into God's kingdom that will last forever on a renewed earth. There will be no more pain, sadness, or death. Those whose names are not in the Lamb's Book of Life will be destroyed forever in the lake of fire. So what is this eternal kingdom going to be like? What's next? Well, we really don't know, because as 1 Corinthians 2:9 says, things that no eye has seen or ear has heard or mind has imagined are the things that God has prepared for those who love him. So all we know is it's going to be better than anything that we could ever think or imagine. As Revelation 21 tells us, there will be a new heaven and a new earth. It will be restored. It's not going to be utterly destroyed. It's going to be made new again. And the residence of God will be with human beings. It says he will live with them, and he will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death will not exist anymore. Neither will mourning or crying or pain, because these former things have ceased to exist. And the curse made in the Garden of Eden will be removed. So if you want to be in that kingdom, you have to first be resurrected and given immortality. And Jesus was the first one who was resurrected and given immortality. And it says that when he comes, those who belong to him are going to be given immortality. And then after that, the end comes when he hands the kingdom over to the Father, after he has brought an end to all the rule and all authority and power. He has to reign until he has put all his enemies under his feet, and the last enemy to be eliminated is death. And we see in Revelation 20 that death is eliminated after the white throne judgment. It tells us in Revelation 20 that the dead, the great and the small, everybody, doesn't matter who you are, if you weren't in the first resurrection, you will stand before the throne at the white throne judgment after the millennial reign, the 1,000 years. And the books will be opened. There is a book that is opened that will judge you according to what you've done, and the book of life. And you are judged by what is written in the books, according to your deeds. The sea will give up the dead that's in it, and death and the grave will give up who are in them. And each one is judged according to his deeds. Then death and the grave are thrown into the lake of fire. This is the second death, the lake of fire. And if anyone's name is not found written in the book of life, that person will be thrown into the lake of fire. But you don't have to worry about this judgment at the second resurrection if you have repented and are obeying Jesus and are in the first resurrection. As it says in 1 Thessalonians 4, "Now we do not want you to be uninformed, brothers and sisters, about those who are asleep, so that you will not grieve like the rest who have no hope. For if we believe that Jesus died and rose again, so also we believe that God will bring with him those who have fallen asleep as Christians. For we tell you this by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive, who are left until the coming of the Lord, will surely not go ahead of those who have fallen asleep. For the Lord himself will come down out of heaven with a shout of a command, the voice of the archangel, and the trumpet call of God, and the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive, who are left, will be suddenly caught up together with him in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air."